All right, let's get started. Welcome to the Sid City Social Club for Friday, May 20th. We're glad you're here. With that, I will send it over to Sid.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Good to see you all. Sorry, I am late. Someone had to go and sit around while they serviced the car. It was supposed to be an hour, but it took hours. And then I was just getting back home, kind of frantic, and a neighbor jumped out of the bushes at me. And really chatty neighbor, and I was immediately like, look, I've got to go for his okay, all right, yeah, I need oh, I'm really sorry, I need to go to it. Yes, of course, yeah. It was like that for about 3 or 4 minutes, and then finally I was like, I'm really sorry, I hope you find your cat, I've got to go. He probably thinks I'm an asshole, but that's life. I've got bigger fish to fry, and I'm here, and spring has finally genuinely sprung. I showed you a view out of my window a couple of weeks ago, and it was all bare branches. And now it's all the beautiful, vibrant, different color, shiny greens that always appear at the beginning of spring, which I love. And all the flowers are out doing their prettiest lap dances for the bees. It's all kicking off. It's all fantastic. So it really energizes me, and I'm sort of even going outside and doing some work and stuff. So I'm very happy about that. And now, without any further ado, we should chat.
We are. We're going to wish Ziggy a happy birthday.
Ziggy's birthday.
It was on Tuesday, but yes.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
Happy
Hello,
birthday.
Ziggy.
Happy
It's
birthday.
lovely to catch up with you.
Well, actually, this is the first time I've ever officially signed up to talk to you.
Well, I'm really happy to hear that. That's
Yes,
fantastic.
We've had a couple of words here and there. You asked me if I had a nail once.
Oh, you do. You have a proper one.
No, it's a stylus for my phone.
That's oh yeah. It's a nail.
Yes. So you had asked me one time in passing if I was holding a nail, and I said no, it was a stylus for my phone. But that's besides that, and commenting on you having a dog named Ziggy are the only times we've ever actually said anything to each other. So
I actually named my son Ziggy. That's
son, not dog. Okay.
Yes. A dog. I can't do that now. It's off the list. He would be mortally offended if I ever called.
There are quite a few pets named Ziggy, though.
It's a great name for pets and humans alike. It's a terrific name. What's going on in your part of the world? Spring sprung? Is it springy?
No, today we have a severe weather warning in Denver.
Oh, great.
It's cold.
Oh, yeah,
and
it's
rainy.
been terrible down there. It really has, I know. It's been sort of an inverted, weird spring for you. Oh, my goodness.
And then it was 90 like 2 days ago, so.
Oh, wow. It's going to be 90 tomorrow here. So we may be in for a frost the next couple of days after that. So I've got a question for you, Ziggy. I'm going to ask a question. What is the best idea you have ever had?
That would probably be when I made up my mind to go teach English overseas, and I lived in South Korea and Turkey for over 2 years.
Oh, that's fantastic. Oh my goodness. What was the shift like? Where did you go first?
I went to South Korea for a year and a half and went to a couple of different schools, a couple of different cities. And then I didn't, my visa was up, but I didn't want to come back to the States. So I skipped over to Turkey.
Was it enjoyable though, the country?
I liked a lot of things about Turkey. I remember when I was very young, maybe 15 years old, I watched a lot of, Travel Channel sort of things, seeing all these things around the world. And I had a small bucket list, and I managed to hit all 3 things on my bucket list before I was 30. And that was see the cherry blossoms in spring, which I saw in Korea, and see London, which I got to see on my way back from Turkey. I got to do a stopover in London, which was the best day of my entire life.
Oh, fantastic.
And see the Hagia Sophia, because I saw a Travel Channel special on the Hagia Sophia. And for some reason, I just got this weird hyperfixation, and I got to go to the Hagia Sophia. I got to walk around. I got to take videos. I literally sat down and cried. I was so moved by that building.
It must be astonishing in real life, because I've only seen it on TV.
Oh, there's a reason it was in the top 3 on my bucket list. I cannot recommend it high enough. If anyone gets a chance to see the Hagia Sophia, literally life-changing moment for me.
Yeah. Wow. I'm envious. I was for at least a month, maybe even 6 weeks in Turkey about 3 years ago. And I never got to see it. I never got into Istanbul, and we were all trekking around in the middle of the desert, and it was a completely untouristy event. And I wish I'd been able to go and see that. It would have been quite something. It really would. How is your family? How's everybody?
Oh, that's a loaded question, Sid.
Okay, let's unload.
As some of the Sidsters know, my father passed from COVID a few months ago.
Oh, I'm really sad to hear that.
So,
what was his name?
His name was Dennis, and he was unfortunately the kind of person we don't like to talk about, the anti-vaxxer, et cetera, and so kind of made his own bed, slept in it.
I don't think, you know what, there's something about society that isn't well equipped to deal with people who don't believe stuff that we generally believe. But I don't think it's all of their fault. I think, you look at the guys in Russia right now who believe that Ukraine is Nazified, and this is the general population I'm talking about, and that their war in Ukraine is just, it's not a war obviously, but it's their special operation, military operation is just. Not all those people are bad. They're not all crazy. They're just, as a society, being told something completely wrong. And we've all been kind of bred to believe stuff. And it's very difficult to get around that, especially when, and same thing's happening in the States. And because I've been trying to figure out how we stop this cycle of distrust and really hate, it boils down to, between vaxxers, anti-vaxxers, people who believe the election was stolen, people don't, people in Ukraine and people in Russia, because 5 minutes ago, we were all just happy with each other. We were all fine. And it's just these little tipping points push us in one direction or another. And I think that we need to take a bit more kind of responsibility as a society for people not quite believing what we're dealing with. And I think once we all take a bit of that responsibility, then it might get a bit easier to get over the hump of people we don't like to talk about and into people we're happy to talk about. Because I'd like you to talk about your father. I'd like you to tell me what the thing he enjoyed doing most was.
Well, I actually wrote a short blog post. I've been writing the blog since before I went overseas. Have not writing in as much as I used to, but I am one of the Sidsters that is a writer. I have an AO3. You can find me in the spreadsheet
Absolutely.
Along with everybody else. But the moment, what I wrote the blog post about was the moment in the entire process of going to the hospital with my siblings, sitting by my father's hospital bedside and watching him go. Not a fun day,
No.
but you would think that would be the most emotionally destroying part of the entire process. But it was actually when we had to carry his stuff out of the hospital. I was watching my brother walk ahead of me out of the hospital, and he was carrying my dad's cowboy boots.
Right.
That was my dad. He was this, kind of good old boy Western, Harley Davidsons. He was a truck driver for 35 years. So that was his personality. And watching my brother carry my dad's boots out of the hospital destroyed me.
Right.
And I'm kind of fighting for composure at the moment, but that's what I wrote the blog post about. And
a touching image.
It was hard. That was the hardest thing to watch.
I think when people pass away, they risk being forgotten. And I know that people who are very close to them will never forget. But I think there's a beautiful tradition in some parts of Africa where you just speak of the dead, you talk about their life, and you paint a picture, and it kind of gives them a spiritual place that continues, a continuity. So I'm just trying to get fractions of a portrait of the guy, which you did very well with the cowboy boots and the Harley Davidson and stuff like that. And I'm just seeing going to get an idea of what he was like as a younger man.
Well, I wrote a little profile about him on my blog years ago. And one of the descriptors that I used was, if the bull and the bear of Wall Street had a child. Because his trucker handle was bear tracks. Right. And he was a bear of a man. He's this big booming voice, tall, burly, big laugh, that was the kind of guy he was. But he did everything big, happy and angry, and everything was, there was nothing small about him.
Yeah, well, thank you for letting us know a bit about Dennis, and it's I'm sorry that he had to pass, especially under those circumstances where you probably weren't. But, I mean, you were lucky to be there and see him.
Very.
Yeah, but it was still, it's just horrible. But thank you, and I hope you forgive him for anything that you find unpleasant. What makes you feel better?
Writing. As many of the sisters who have known me over the past over a year know, I am quite a prolific writer, actually, on AO3. I haven't published all of it yet. I'm posting a chapter a week. I just crossed 940,000 words on my Czech fan fiction.
Wow.
That's just one of them. I've written many. My big one, I've crossed 940,000 words.
You giving Proust a run for his money.
I will have written 2 War and Peace before I even get to the end of DS9.
That is astonishing. You're amazing. That's fantastic. That's really great. Awesome job. Really.
Yeah, and everyone here's like, I ain't reading that.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to ask you to read it either.
It's huge. It's really good, but it's huge.
Well, we can come and read us some snippets if you've got any. But I think they become like bleeding chunks. A lot of people think, it's like hearing little bits of classical music. It's not what the composer usually intended. What are you going to do for your birthday? Do you have a plan?
But I don't know if you know Colorado very well, but we went, I took my friend and my roommate up to Estes Park, and we, had a buffalo burger and some ice cream. That was my birthday.
Nice, really nice. No, I don't know Colorado well. I mean, I drove clean through it once and spent a couple of hours hanging around in Denver. Well, actually, I think it was west of Denver. I think I've talked about it before. It's one of those little tiny factoids that I may have got wrong, because I often do get tiny factoids wrong. As everyone will tell you, the fact-checking bubble at the bottom of the thing is like, no, this is this. Well, listen, I'm really, really happy that you've had a terrific birthday, Ziggy, and I'm hoping you have a wonderful year ahead. And I hope you don't have any serious problems, but if you do, come and talk to us about them if you feel like it. Thank you very much for coming and saying hi. Come back and tell us how you're doing someday.
All right, appreciate you, Sid. Thank you.
Thank you, Ziggy.
Thanks, Ziggy. Happy birthday. Our next birthday person is our youngest birthday person.
Oh,
he's only
it's Mo.
It's Mo. Can you say hi?
The Mo machine.
He immediately got quick. He's been talking this whole time, and I think he realized that he's on the spot.
Who is this strange alien thing on the television who seems to be directly looking at me?
He definitely knows who you are. Who is that? Can you tell me? No.
I'm out of here. I'm done.
Can you say hi, Sid? No.
Pretty please. Little teeny smile. Little teeny shy smile.
Everybody's gonna say happy birthday to you.
It's your birthday.
Yeah.
Happy
birthday.
birthday.
Happy birthday, Mo.
Happy birthday, Mo.
Happy birthday.
Awesome.
He just turned 2 on Wednesday.
Congratulations, my friend. Well done. You are brilliant for making it to 2.
Can you do a high five?
And you seem to be extremely curious about everything else in the world right now.
I mean, pretty much, yeah. Hey.
How is he? How's he doing?
He's doing good. He's doing good.
I'm really glad.
He's okay. There we go. You wanna climb on the desk? Will that make things better? Yeah. Okay.
Get up here.
Yeah. Okay.
Come on up. Come on over. Come on over and say hi.
There you go. Just sitting on the desk, playing with my chemistry set. It's fine.
Have you written 900,000 words on anything recently?
If I get like 500 words into a required Word document about a wiki article, I'll be really excited.
You'd be. Well, there's 100 people who just witnessed his second birthday, so I'm really happy about that. And there are probably hundreds of people not on this Zoom who also witnessed it.
I'm trying to get him to play with the mouse that is not hooked up to the computer. I apologize.
Oh, good thinking. Nice thinking. You have a mouse that is inert.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. There's that. There's the video game controller that's not hooked up to anything. There's excuse you. I'm so sorry.
No. I know. Mom's just in the way.
Right?
You have an important Zoom meeting to attend, and she's doing all the chatting. That's all it's about.
I have no idea. Can you say hi?
Hi. See, it works. You get a hi back.
It's
you get
true.
A big hi back.
Can you wave? Yeah. This here.
That's
You
lovely.
can't see. There you go.
Thank you. That's lovely waving. That's really good waving. You're a good waver.
Yeah.
I can't imagine. See, I would never have figured out at his age, but obviously times have changed, to be able to look at a screen and understand that you can interact with that thing. That person, I mean, I just thought little small people were inside the TV when I was.
I mean, I'm pretty sure he did think that for a while. Are you showing him the schedule for the YMCA?
Oh, can I see that?
It's very
Can
cool.
I see that?
Can you show that? Show it to him?
Can I see the schedule for the YMCA?
Yeah, it's very cool.
Is that yellow? Is that a yellow piece of paper? I love the color yellow.
Do you like yellow? What's out there? Is that a truck? I will say, attention, prolonged attention is not a toddler's main.
Not their usual thing. No, that no one usually expects that of them.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't. Dada will be back soon.
Serious concentration and not moving.
Oh yeah.
And 2 is remarkably mobile. It's a mobile age.
Yeah. So it's funny because between him and Clementine was like telling jokes and puns at like almost 2. Yeah. She. I remember she wasn't even 2 yet, and she was sitting in the bathtub, and she couldn't walk yet, and she looks at me and and I said, "This is the shampoo." And she goes, "Shampoo, shampoo poo." And I was just like, "Did you just tell a joke?"
That's good. I don't even think I knew I could have done that at 6, let alone. That is amazing.
Yeah. I mean, Daddy will be home soon. But yeah.
Yeah, he's coming home soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's that?
Look at that.
Who's that? Yeah. I know you know who that is. You asked for him. Anyway.
Wait.
Is he making a silly face? Can you make a silly face? No.
It's difficult making a silly face.
No. But then this guy is not really talking a whole lot, but is like running and jumping and climbing and feeding himself with a fork and trying to
incur his own demise at any given opportunity, if possible. Django was the chattiest cat in the world. Where's Daddy?
Hi, Daddy.
He's coming soon, I think.
He's home.
He's home! Hurrah! You better go say hi to Daddy.
Do you want to go say hi? Or you want to hang out with me? Yep. Hi, Daddy. Yeah. Oh my God.
We love Mo. He's part of. He's core member. He's a core.
He's pretty fun. He's pretty fun.
We've watched him grow up.
Did you just climb into your high chair? Are you hungry? Yeah. Okay.
See you later.
I'm gonna go feed the baby.
Nice talking to you both.
Nice to see you.
Bye. Have nice food.
You say bye-bye again? There you go.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye. Happy birthday, Mo. Okay, let's go talk to Emily. This will be Emily's first time chatting.
Uh-oh. I have to do
G'day.
the first time talk. Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
I'm just not in the mood for being really cruel right now, but you know what? I'm going to do it anyway. Hi,
You
Emily.
could be really cruel.
I'm not going to be
We kind of
cruel.
deserve it right now in Australia.
Oh, you are in Australia. It's the beginning
Yeah,
of autumn
Sydney.
for
It's
you.
I got up at 5.
Oh, whereabouts are you?
Sydney,
Oh my goodness, fantastic.
the big bad city.
I spent 2 beautiful weeks in quarantine there just last year.
You're very welcome. The quality. Yeah. Today's election day, federal election day.
I was about to ask you because it's election fever right now.
It really is.
And you're talking about the climate a lot. Apparently, I'm reading that these are one of the big issues is climate for the.
Well,
for
of
the
course it
guys.
is, because the fires, the floods. We are the apocalypse. Come to Australia.
Come to
we're at the beginning
Australia,
of the
where
end.
you are the cutting edge of environmental catastrophe.
Yeah, so the coral bleaching is doing real great too.
I know.
It's really, yeah. I'm going
So
to take
how
my
are
kid.
you? Who are you?
How am I?
Tell me
Who
about
am I?
yourself. Yeah.
We've ended up doing very similar things through the lockdown. My cat's trying to drink water out of my flower vase next to me.
Good. That's the best kind of water is stolen
Yeah.
water.
Obviously.
Always.
So I spent a lot of time discovering the Star Trek community through a thing we call it Trek Book on Facebook. And
Right.
I was breastfeeding my little kid in 2019 on the couch, and I just went, why is there no craft group? Why is there no queer supportive craft group here? This is outrageous. So I started up Garrick's Craft Ears.
Oh my goodness, you have been doing exactly the same thing as we've been doing.
Yeah. And there's been spin-offs, so there's Cisco's Creole Kitchen, which is the food. They've got really good rules about don't yuck other people's yums, all of that stuff. It's really lovely. There's Keiko's Conservatory, O'Brien's Cello Chamber, and we're all sort of friends. So we're all it's a huge community now.
That is so great. That
we're
is
nearly
wonderful.
hitting 3 years, and there's over 4,000 in craft ears.
Oh my goodness. Where can people find this?
Facebook.
As Spacebook. Perfect.
Yeah.
That's what people can look for.
Yeah. So it was, and then someone in your community is in both of our communities, Helen, who's in Adelaide, who does all of the wonderful memes. She was like, Emily, you know that this exists. And I was like, what? Get out. So yeah, I thought it would be really good to be like, hey, we've been doing the same thing. We're a supportive community, and you're a supportive community.
So you got inspired. Tell me, because you got inspired by the fact that these communities weren't being represented.
No, they're not there, and we found out it's the only craft group that basically is transphobe free, really intensely. Yeah, we're quite aggressive.
How do you police that?
It's a private group, so you ask questions to get in. So one of our questions to get in is, how do you feel about luxury gay space communism? And I think that stops a lot of people coming in. And we also ask, who do you think Garrick is? And when people say Julian's boyfriend, it seems to do the trick as well.
Yeah. That's definitely a secret password if you're ever You do all that with a toddler in the house.
Yeah. Well, he's got childcare now, but but yeah, I do, and he's very active in preventing me from doing any crafts now. So I feel like
if he can shut you down at any given moment, he will. Absolutely. All
totally.
your time is his, and that's
right.
the way it's gonna be.
Yeah, it's just him and me. So I'm like, it's him, me, and apparently 4,000 other people. I think.
How long have you been together alone?
I left while I was pregnant, and I went onto my grandparents' farm out in regional Australia, which is much more varied than you would think. It wasn't a desert, people. It wasn't a desert out there.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I had him out there, and then it came back to the big bad city. And I mean, he sees his paternal grandmother every week, you know, and working pretty hard on that stuff. But yeah, it's he's a happy little unit.
How have you been throughout the whole COVID mess?
It's been real hard.
Yeah.
Because we've had the toughest. There are other countries, obviously.
I was there for several months last year, so I got to you know.
And it was for good reason. They did the maths, and we just couldn't afford to lose too many people. But at the moment, we've hit over 6,000 deaths for the last 2 years, and the last 5,000 have been since we've lifted all the restrictions.
Yeah, of course, it's the inevitable 5,000.
Yeah.
What do you have to deal with? Money making and stuff like that at the same time as all these other things?
Oh, so we don't just have universal health care. We actually have a single parents pension that was set up in like World War One, after World War One. And so I'm fortunate that I'm on that. It's not a lot. It's
but it keeps
below the poverty line, and it's, you know, inflation and stuff. But my family, I've got a big, beautiful family, and they're very supportive.
Good.
I mean, my dad was in Perth, which had the most stringent restrictions in terms of we haven't seen him in 3 years.
Yeah.
And as soon as he got a flight booked over here, he got COVID, which made I did laugh a little tiny bit. You can't not. He's fine though. He's like triple vaxxed. So
yeah.
But you know.
But you're keeping, I mean, your apartment looks lovely, or your house or whatever it is. I love the greenery, and I love all the bric-a-brac.
It's a tiny 1.5 bedroom apartment in Sydney. We have some of the highest costs of living in the world. That is like living in luxury. I'm actually even in one of the most affluent areas of Sydney too. I'm not in a rich area. I'm just in an area where it's a bit sexy here. Like, you know, people are chill and a bit more money and stuff like that, because it's the inner west of Sydney.
It's a bit like Fitzroy in Melbourne.
It is. It's exactly like Fitzroy in Melbourne. Well done.
Thank you.
Yeah, more maybe Brunswick-ish, that sort of area.
They're kind of next to each other, aren't they? So so
full of, you know, gentrification and wankiness. It's great,
and also real tolerance and diversity, and welcome, open arms and rainbows in pub windows and things like that.
My local member of Parliament is actually the guy running for Prime Minister.
Wow. All right.
Yeah. And Albo, we love Albo. He has a beer named after him. He's actually grew up in housing nearby. Yeah, really good. But he's we've had to teach him how to be a bit more open-minded too, and he's really taken to that really well. But the changing face of this area has been really interesting because it's a very working class. Yeah.
I love one thing. I mean, I spent about 4 months in Melbourne last year, so it was I kind of got a grip of some elements of social Australia. And Melbourne's quite a hip city, or at least they like to think it is, you know.
Well, they think they are.
They think they are. They're also incredibly expensive.
Yes.
I was staying in an Airbnb, and I think I saw the price one day, because obviously the company paid for it, and I was like, you have to be kidding me. I just love the inclusivity. I love the laid backness. Australia's getting it really right, I think, a lot of different things, and I hope you get the right result in this election, and it's not some crazy wingnut who wins something.
Our politicians are very accessible compared to what I've seen in the States. We've egged people in pubs,
which means thrown eggs at.
Yes, that's right. We don't do other things to them. We wouldn't want to anyway. We're not as cool as New Zealand, which hits the Prime Minister with a dildo.
Yeah, I know.
We're never going to be as cool as that.
No. New Zealand will be the coolest nation for years.
It wins.
What makes you happy? Organizing this wonderful inclusive community, is that one of your kind of joys, or do you find other pleasures with? Because I mean, you don't have much time, so you can't really go hiking or anything?
Oh, well, I've been painting a lot lately.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Now
so
you've got my attention.
I've been painting a lot lately. I should show you this because just quickly, this is the only cross stitch. I've only done 2 cross stitches. That's it. That's all.
Oh my goodness, fantastic.
That's all the world gets of my cross stitching. I am not doing anymore.
It's very sweet.
My kid asked me to do Thomas. There you go. It's Thomas.
Oh, what's great, Thomas.
He's coming along. And this is Rachel's actually in the chat.
Yeah.
Bit there. Rachel knows this. This is her cat.
Hi, Rachel's cat.
That's Catsy.
Oh.
This is my friend Jill's birds. She's up in the Blue
goodness.
Mountains. She runs Cisco's Creole Kitchen. So like I just paint people's pets. And my child has just woken up.
So you have to probably sign off. Thank you very much for coming to share those things. I want to see more paintings, please.
Oh yeah.
I want to hear more about your really groovy space book. I really do. I don't have even Facebook, so it's not my area of expertise, but I'd love to hear more about it.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, come and talk to us more often.
Thanks, Emily. We are going to go talk to Natalia and Jack. They are also new first-time chatters today.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello, we've got some noobs today. We're loving this.
So many new ones.
We love this. Hi guys, it's really nice to meet you.
Hi.
This is me looking at, when you see this, because I know I normally just look at the little spot on my top of my computer, so it looks like I'm actually looking at you, but I'm actually looking at you if I look at you there and you there. That's how wild that is. So I don't like to do that, but
Right.
I'm just drinking you in for a second there. Know who you are. It's nice to meet you both. Where are you?
Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Oh, England.
In England, so it's getting pretty
Yes.
late there.
It is dark. It's dark outside, so the lighting's quite bad. So we are looking generally at the screen. You can't see if we're
Yeah.
looking at you or the camera. So
I
it's
don't
us.
mind. You are exonerated. You don't have to deal with any of that. You just look wherever you please. So what are you in your, obviously you're at home.
Yeah.
And what relation are you to each other?
Brother and sister.
We are
Oh, lovely.
siblings.
You never know. So, but it is nice to see you both. It's hard to see because Jack, you're a
Yeah,
little bit
it's-
in the
yeah.
dark.
You've
Now you
missed it.
gotcha. Now I can see there. It's definitely brother and sister. And
Yep.
how has this whole COVID trip nightmare scenario been for you? Because you are in the kind of age range of people who've had some pretty precious years stolen,
Yeah.
robbed.
Yeah, I lost most of my year 6. That's sad.
Yeah. So that year 6, if you remember, because you grew up in England, right?
I did. Went to school there.
Right. So year 6 is like the last year of primary, and Jack lost the last year of his primary
Yeah,
school, which
that-
often includes like a residential trip.
That was at the very beginning. I'm year 8 now. That's like at the very
years
beginning
ago.
of COVID.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear
Yeah.
that.
That's sad.
That
And
is sad. And
Yeah.
Natalia, what was robbed from you?
most of year 8, and I'm in year 10 now, so it's been 2 years. And funny story, but in early March of 2020, I was very ill with something that is suspiciously similar to COVID, but
Oh
they
my
were only
goodness.
testing people in hospital, and I never went to hospital with it, so we don't know. So I could have had COVID twice because we've had it earlier this year as well.
Oh, congratulations.
I've probably got like positive tests stuck to the wall.
Yeah, I mean, not positive anymore. It's like old positive tests.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Wall
of
of
course.
Fame.
And what have you been doing to amuse yourselves? Have you been sat in front of the TV? Obviously, you've got to do schoolwork. That's
Yeah.
got to
There's
happen.
been lots of school at home. Our parents are very like careful and strict with, well, not very strict, but they are very careful with
Any strictness at all is very strict. You know.
Nah, I suppose. With the amount of time we spend on technology. So we haven't spent that much time in front of the TV, but we've gotten them to watch many like pieces of media recently. I'm known for finding very good ones.
Very cool.
I've convinced my family to watch Good Omens, BBC Ghosts, and I convinced them to start rewatching Star Trek TNG and start watching Deep Space Nine.
Brilliant.
Because
You know what I've been watching a little bit of, and that is Star Trek Below Decks.
What's that one?
It's the animated one.
The cartoon. And I met the actor who plays the lead a woman in that in the show when I was in Chicago a couple of weeks ago, and she seemed really nice, and I spotted her in something else, and it turned out to be Space Force, I think it was called. Yes, I think it was called Space Force. She's in another show, which, remember, Trump invented a new wing of the military in the United States a couple of years ago and called it Space Force.
Yes, and it had a very similar logo to Starfleet or something.
Exactly. Like that. And she did the kind of pastiche comedy of that. And so I was like, you were in Space Force? And she said, oh yeah, thank you very much. Yes, I was. I mean, also Below Decks, and it is very funny if you
Cool.
know a little bit about insider Star Trek stuff.
Nice.
It's not quite as funny as the brilliant movie with Sigourney Weaver. Do you remember? Have you seen that one, Galaxy Quest?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, Galaxy Quest is a treat to come for you. If you understand the nerdiness of the whole world you're dipping your toe into, Galaxy Quest is hilarious. I'll ask Natalia first. What's your thing that you love at learning about?
So I'm doing, probably at the moment, my favorite thing I'm doing at school is media studies.
And what about it fascinates you?
Probably the effects that it has on the audience. Like, there's so much thought going into what looks like a simple drawing, but the more you sit down and analyze it, the more you can see that there's actually so much thought that's gone into this. And I think that's just fascinating.
Yeah, absolutely. And how do you feel about the fact that the media has come in for a real pummeling in the last few years? Probably most of your kind of, I would say, really kind of intellectually inquisitive life, media has been distrusted, you know.
I'll be honest, I don't really trust many things that I see. I prefer to take everything with a pinch of salt rather than just trust out heart. So if I see something confirmed in maybe a few sources, I'll be like, okay, this might be true.
That
if
is
I
really
just
smart.
see something mentioned somewhere, I'm like, yeah, probably not true.
That is really smart, but that's fantastic. I love that. I think I think you can get your teeth into that subject. And the fact that you enjoy it means you're actually going to learn it, because I found that when I was at school, I would just not really bother. I try to just get by with
it
something.
has to be fun to be worth learning.
Exactly. I would get a C. I would be happy with a C.
Yeah.
Like, give me a C and I'll move on.
And then in subjects that I really like, I'm predicted like really high grades, because they changed the grading system in England from letters to numbers. So I predicted like the higher numbers, which is very nice.
Yeah, it's very nice. What about you, Jack? What's your favorite thing? Or it doesn't have to be academic.
Yeah, about academic, I do homeschooling because my family's Polish, and 2 years ago, these people in Poland started a online school. Well, because like they realized, oh no, kids were learning online anyway. Yeah, and they saw that it worked, so they just started a.
And you're doing that?
Yeah.
So you don't go to school ever?
No.
You amazing. And do they teach in Polish or do they teach in English?
Polish. There's also an English exam, but I got 100% on that.
Wow, I'm impressed.
I do live in England.
Which sentence is in English? Which has the correct grammar? That's fantastic, Jack. So how do you get involved with important community stuff like sports and stuff like that?
As for sports, I do taekwondo, martial arts.
That's great.
Yeah, me and my dad have been doing that since
like before the pandemic, like 2019.
That's fantastic. Do you find yourself to be a sort of, because when I was at school, I had maybe, I don't know, 2 friends that I would be, and I didn't mind, you know, I mean, that made you a kind of loser, but among other kids, because that's just the way kids are. But I was like, actually, that's my preference. I don't want to spread myself. I don't want to know all these people. Do you find yourself to be more of a loner, or do you find yourself to be really a socialite, quite gregarious? So
my best friend, he also does homeschooling, and we're like, we've known each other since like way before I could remember, and I don't actually remember this, but apparently I used to hate him.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
It's how the best friends start.
Yes.
That's fantastic. That's great. That's lovely. And do you have an outlet socially, Natalia? Because obviously we're all just learning this again, aren't we? Now going back to school.
I mean, in school, I obviously have to like know lots of people. And I'll be honest, I'm not brilliant at social situations, but I do definitely try to know people. Like even if I'm not like best friends with someone, I will say if I see them like in school or even in public, I'll like go up to them and be like, hi, how are you? Nice talking to you, to like have some sort of like web of people I know. And then but then that sort of leads to a fact where I know so many people and I get tired out. But I do have a few best friends in school and also outside of school that
I think
really
the best way of telling whether or not you're introverted or extroverted is to say, what is your reaction to when someone says, there's a party tonight at X so-and-so's house, or there's a party this evening, and do you light up and go, I can't wait? Or do you go, oh God, I want to try and figure out how to get out of that?
Yeah.
Because that's what I do.
Oh, what I do is just show up, get the cake and just leave.
Yeah.
Get the cake and leave. That's someone who knows which way his bread is buttered. It's fantastic. Whereabouts in the UK are you?
Like near there, like underneath Southampton, like near there.
Oh yeah, right. Okay, yeah,
Like
sort of
near
south
that area. Cliffs, lots of cliffs, lots of sea.
Lots of cliffs, lots
Looks
of
like
sea
the same place
somewhere.
everywhere.
Seagulls a bit further on.
Oh, seagulls stealing food.
Rats on the sky. Like
The rats of the sky.
whenever we go to Poland on holiday, everyone's like, "Oh, let's go to the beach." But, like
we live by the beach.
Yes,
we are sick of it.
Which, like, oh yeah, cool, I guess. Okay,
that's hilarious. And what do you have a plan in terms of what you would like to be, either of you? If either of you do, by the way, that you are in there is absolutely no need why you should.
I mean, go on. If you want to go first.
My friend, the one I mentioned earlier, this may just be like, wild ideas, but like we had an idea to like, make a film producer. We've got like some ideas and
I love that.
Stuff.
Yeah. We made a few series that really not very good, but it's a start.
Hey, you've got to start somewhere. And are you learning technique-based stuff, or are you just improvising?
No, we just like
improvise, but we've had quite enough with improvising because we had a few accidents with improvisation.
Natalia, you're hilarious. What I would suggest you do, I think you should carry on doing that, absolutely, but go find an idea and explore the idea and really look into it before you even begin with the camera. So even if it's like trees, find out how you could express trees to other people, and then film things that give them a sense of tree. Almost it's like it's that exercise of how do you tell someone to get up off a chair without saying the word chair or up? And film has to try and navigate that weird gray area of explaining things that without saying them, because they're very visual. So probably tree wasn't a great example because everyone knows a tree when you see it. But that sort of thing, and it can be quite psychological. But and then when you've done plenty of work, like work on it for a couple of weekends, and then introduce a camera and see what happens. And because that's the process. That's basically, in a nutshell, the beginning process of making a movie. But no one just makes a movie. They always work on it right away for a long time.
I also had an idea to make a animated thing because I do some 3D design on Blender. But at my current level, I'm nowhere near making animated series.
But
and you've heard from probably your harshest critic to your left there that it's good.
Well,
I think I would take that to the bank. Anything Natalia says is bound to be the truth.
I prefer being like with a camera. I found that I find cinematography and like camera angles and the editing all fascinating. So I'm thinking to maybe do like film studies for my A levels at some point, like after I've gone through my GCSEs too. Look
for the teacher. It's the teacher who's the most important thing. If you're inspired by the teacher, you're going to get something like film studies is going to go very well. If you find the teacher a bit meh, then it might not go so well because it's so dependent on knowledge of that person teaching you, and also that their enthusiasm is, when you've got the odd teacher who is really enthusiastic, it kind of gets you going, even if it's for some subject you're not that interested in. But I think you're doing great. I like you guys. I think you're really terrific.
We like you too.
Yeah. Thank you. It's a mutual society and appreciation society. Well, I come back and see us and give us your news, and we want to know how you are. I want to keep tabs on you.
We'll be floating around in a few of the meetings for a while.
You can always lurk. Everyone's welcome to just look. You just leave it on and hear the noises coming. You don't have to attend.
Thank you for letting us talk.
No, you're so welcome. I love hearing you talk. It's fascinating.
Oh,
Thank you both. It was lovely to meet you. All right, we're gonna run over just a little bit since we were late getting started. We're gonna go check in with Keelis, who
My
is
fault.
visiting family. Yeah, it's all your fault.
Hello. Oh, look at you, lovely people. How nice to meet you, Keelis' sister.
This is my little sister, Brenna. This is my little nibbling Braylon, whose birthday is on
Oh,
and this
is a little nibbly bit. Is a little person who's a little edible thing. It's adorable. Whereabouts are you all at? What vague part of the country? Doesn't have to be specific.
Florida.
Oh, Florida. Okay, yeah, that's not a vague part of the country at all.
Orlando.
And how are you all? We know and love Keelis so much, so I'm gonna just pay a bit of attention to you for a second. So you've got all these hundreds of children around you.
Just two.
Oh, it feels like hundreds sometimes. And how are you kids doing? I mean, one of you is probably not that chatty, is my guess, but one of you is probably more chatty. So the one who volunteers to be a bit more chatty, can you say hi? Thank you. And what stage of life are you at right now? Are you going to school? Are you done with all that? Have you finished college? Maybe you're applying to college. And what do you love about school? What's your favorite thing at school? Music and art. What brilliant things to be loving. And do you have a particular piece of music or instrument that you're learning, or just music in general?
They've been working on a recorder.
Love the recorder. That's great. Well, I think you're going to have a lot of fun with enjoying both of those two things. I think they're just fantastic things to be doing. And are you a drawer, or are you a painter, or are you a looker? That is amazing. I just think I heard that. Can you show us anything? Have you got anything that you'd like to show us?
Start with drawing. Go, run.
Yeah, take your time. There's no rush. And pick anything, or two things, or five, whatever you want. So, younger sister, I forgot your name because I didn't really hear it on the microphone situation.
Brenna.
Brenna, lovely. What do you do to keep yourself sane?
I'm a bartender.
That's
work keeps me sane.
That keeps you sane. Because in Florida it's been quite a full-time job. You never would have had time off, really, would you? Because there was no real attempt at any sort of lockdown or anything like that.
There was a little bit, and most of the lockdown I was actually pregnant with this one, so I stayed home anyway because there was no point in going into a job that didn't really want me there while I was pregnant anyway.
For sure. Yeah.
So I went back in April of 2021.
Yeah. And do you guys try and take every opportunity to see each other? Because I know Keelis has been pretty shut down by the whole COVID thing. So it's actually lovely that she's even there saying hi to you. It must be like running in the meadows for them.
I have asthma, but that's it. Pretty
Right.
much. So it's not too bad. The mask actually, when we have to wear masks, because it keeps going back and forth at the place that I work, when I do have to wear a mask on my bad asthma days, it's hard for me to actually breathe because of my asthma. So it's pros and cons for either having a mask or not having a mask, either way. So
yeah, of course. I guess someone's back with some, something that they might be able to show us if we're very good and behave. Have I put you on the spot? Oh my goodness, that's fantastic. I love that. I love that. That really makes me smile. I love what they're wearing. I love the different geometry of the figures. It's just really wonderful. What inspired you to put a triangular face in a round head? Because I think that is just genius, youngster. Is that just how you see it? You know, there are wonderful, famous artists in the world who see it the same way, especially in Central and South America. That's a very popular way of. And do you like to use color as well, or do you prefer to draw with pencil?
I like to use marker.
Yeah, I think you're really good at it. And I hope you spend lots of time doing it, because the longer you practice, the even better you'll be. Same thing goes for music. You're gonna have to know how much time you have for all of this stuff, all the stuff you're into. Because music, they will make you practice for hours before you kind of get around to actually playing anything that you enjoy playing. You're obviously going to school. Are you enjoying school?
Yes.
She's about to end it next week.
Oh, okay. Well, I wish you huge amounts of luck with that. And don't stop drawing. You're brilliant at it. Really good at it. Don't ever stop doing things you're really good at. I'll have to hear you play the recorder sometime, because I don't know whether you're good at that or not. And looks like your sister's really good at playing the pacifier. No, it's fantastic. What a delightful family. Well, I really I had no idea that you had such a lovely family. Well, of course, I never do. And it always amazes me. And I shouldn't, because I meet such amazing people all the time here. How has it been for you, getting out and being in Florida, and obviously seeing a youngster who you haven't probably seen yet?
It's been really great getting to know her. She says hi. She said Zizi the other day, which is what I have her call me. I have them call me Zizi Keyless.
Fantastic.
And then this one I haven't seen a whole lot, because I moved away from Florida about a year before she was born, for a year before she was on the scene. So It's good to get to know her too. And then of course my sister, who I love a lot. So
that's so great. It's it brings a smile. The whole lot of you together just brings a smile to my face. It's a really lovely thing. It really is.
Thanks.
And yes,
because it's her birthday on Tuesday. So Monday or Tuesday?
Oh,
Monday.
It's your birthday on Monday? And we didn't know. We'd have organized the whole thing. Well, happy birthday for Monday. Big happy birthday for Monday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
You know what you can say on Monday or Tuesday? That you got a happy birthday from around the world, literally. Because we are all over the world.
She's very excited.
I hope so. I got it once, and I just, it's one of the coolest things. And it's our tradition. We all give a round the world happy birthday. That's fantastic. Do you know what you're going to do on your birthday? Have you got anything planned?
A restaurant.
Oh, is it a particular restaurant?
It's my favorite. It's the Rainforest Cafe.
I know the Rainforest Cafe, and they have it all with parrots and leaves and all of that and noises. You know, you won't know this lady, but other people on the thing might like this story. One of the people who ran the Oscars was a woman called Majel Barrett Roddenberry. And Majel Barrett Roddenberry was the widow, in fact, was married to a guy called Gene Roddenberry. And Gene Roddenberry invented Star Trek. So he's quite important culturally in the world. So we went to Majel's house every year. But the bit that you might like is that her whole basement, because she's very rich, was turned into a Rainforest Cafe. And she had the soundtrack and everything. So when you went downstairs, when we were at this party, a few of us would go downstairs and you'd hear these like, woohoo, woohoo, and all these noises. That's my bad monkey impression. I'm not really good at that. And I don't really have the breath control right now. And the whole place was like fake palm trees, and not palm trees, but fake tropical forest trees and all kinds of cool stuff. And the walls were all painted so that you could never quite see the end. So that was kind of an interesting thing that Majel had. I don't know if I don't know if her son inherited the house and whether they still have that stuff. But so I saw the Rainforest Cafe in someone's house. How cool is that? So maybe that should be on your Christmas list next year, to have your whole house turned into a Rainforest Cafe and your mom to cook only Rainforest Cafe food forever. You know you're not going to get
Big
that done.
no.
That's not going to get that done. I like to cause a little trouble. I'm like a kind of uncle figure.
It would sound great.
It's lovely to talk to you. I hope you have the happiest birthday ever. And more than that, I hope every birthday gets happier than the last forever. That's my wish for you.
Thank you.
It's lovely talking to you. And it's lovely talking to you, Mom. And it's lovely talking to you always, guys. It really is. Thank you very much for introducing this beautiful family to us.
Thank you for having us.
You're welcome.
Thanks, everybody. Happy birthday, Braylon. Good luck, Bryn, with your redecorating. Okay, was it an actual rainforest cafe or just like rainforest?
Rainforest Cafe didn't exist yet, so
Okay.
it was the prototype. It was just a mock rainforest in the basement of her house in Bel Air in Beverly Hills, and you would walk down there, and the sofas were green, and there was lush greenery painted on the walls, and actual jungle sounds. That was
I can't decide if that's super retro or this kind of reminds me of 50s.
Super retro. It's very 70s Hollywood. Remember when you go to Elvis chapels and they would have palm trees painted on the walls and stuff so you could get married on the beach?
I mean, I don't personally have experience with that, but sure.
Yeah, that happened to me with Nana. We went to a place on Wilshire Boulevard, and we got married Vegas style. And this dude came out, and he was the same dude who just went back behind the curtain and changed into a different thing, and he was suddenly our preacher. And his wife was playing the piano, and they drew back the curtains, and they had a palm trees and a beach, and they snapped a photograph of us on the beach. It's all very romantic.
Yes, very, very. Wow. That's an awesome story.
Yeah.
Okay, folks, we're going to wrap it up here. Thank you all for coming. Thanks for bearing with us while we got a little
Sorry I'm late, guys. I know that a lot of people had to leave, and it's just a bummer, but I just got nailed.
It happens. Life happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks again. Have a good weekend.
Bye.
Bye, beautiful.
Bye, Mo.
Bye, Mo. Bye, all you beautiful ones.